At the start of this year, I set myself a challenge to build a new low-ticket info product business and get it up to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But there were some rules. Number one, I had to build the product completely from scratch. Number two, I couldn't show my face in the marketing, the sales, or the fulfillment of the product, so it was completely faceless and automated. And number three, it had to be in a niche in an industry that I had zero experience in. So in this video, I'll explain how we built the product, how we marketed and sold the product, the results, why after 56 days I shut the company down, and also at the end of the video, I will reveal the niche and the industry that this product was in, because I guarantee if I gave you 1,000 guesses, there would be no way you would be able to guess what the niche was. So if we look at the ad account then that I was using, you can see on the 31st of December 2024, we've got zero spend. And then if we look at the first couple of months of this year, you can see we ended up spending, I'll just go into the campaign specifically for this. You can see we ended up spending £13,400 across the 2 months. And you can see that our ROAS was 1.03. So I'll explain kind of like what the product was, what the funnel was, and how we would make money in the back end as well. But just to kind of like verify these results, we'll go to the funnel. And you can see here from Jan 1st to Feb 28th, we generated about 19,000. For you US folk, that is about 14.9K. And as you can see in the cash here, that's about 6, that's about 8.6. So it comes around about the 14K mark as well. So when I was thinking about building this product and what was going to enable it to be successful, I was thinking about what market to go into. And obviously, if we're trying to create a business that is faceless, and I talked about this in one of my previous videos, then you're losing the competitive advantage of having a brand, right? Everyone is posting content on social media, and that is their unique advantage. If they can show their personality, if they can create content that builds authority, trust, credibility, that is their competitive advantage. So if you're looking to build a business without showing your face, you're going to lose that. So therefore, you can't really then dive into the really competitive markets. So when I was thinking of coming up with a product idea, I wasn't going to go and create like a fitness plan or like a fitness product, because every fitness coach and PT, they're all creating content online. If I hired a PT recently, or not a PT, like an online coach to help me with my training, and obviously I'd already followed them on social media. I was never going to pay someone for coaching if I just saw a random ad and without them showing the face. It's just not going to happen, right? Like the fitness space specifically, and that's just one example, is just super competitive. So there's no way that I'm going to go and try and compete with those guys when they've got, people with millions of followers on YouTube, millions of followers on Instagram, and I'm going to try and like compete with them with like a faceless product. So that was number one. I had to go and research and find a really uncompetitive and unsaturated market where there wasn't a lot of people either, number one, creating content around this niche or this industry, or number two, they definitely weren't running ads to it. And that was one of the reasons why I was able to get this profitable. It was because there was literally no one else advertising in this niche market for my type of product. So that was number one. Number two, so this is obviously a product, again, that is faceless. I have no experience in this niche or industry. So pretty much everything in terms of all the fulfillment was going to be created with AI. So that basically means online guides, online PDFs, and online video courses. But again, the online video courses couldn't show my face or someone else's face. So it had to be a product that could be delivered with essentially a voiceover and slides only. So again, that restricts you a lot. So for example, if I was going to create like a course teaching people how to draw, like if that was like the niche or the industry that I thought was uncompetitive, but you can't really create a course showing someone how to like draw or paint if it's not someone physically actually doing that action, right? You can't really teach that on slides, or if you tried, I'm pretty sure it'd be a pretty piss poor product. So it had to be something as well that I could deliver with AI. So it really restricted. But eventually, after doing some research, I found the niche in the industry. I felt pretty good about it. It was uncompetitive. And I saw from the odd little competitor that I could see online, it could also be delivered automatically with AI, with some voiceovers and stuff. So if we have a look at the funnel flow, so this is basically what I was selling, and I'll show you through the spreadsheets and I'll walk, through kind of like the process of what we did. But we had a front end product, which is basically an online guide and PDF for $27. We had an order bump, which is effectively like another PDF for $17. We had a one-time offer. So this was something that they could add on at the checkout. Once they purchased the initial product, they'd have like a one-click upsell. That was $47, and that was an online course / workshop. So it was like basically like a 60-minute workshop. I created it with AI, scripted it with AI, did the voiceover with AI. I did have someone help me create the slides, and I edited it basically together put the slides over the voiceover. So that was like a 60-minute workshop for $47. And then we had a one-time offer too, which was again like an online guide / PDF, and that was $17. So that was like the front end funnel. And then in the back end, eventually over the month, we created some more products, $37, $27. And then I also tested out affiliate offers as well, which was quite a challenge because, again, this niche or industry was really specific. So there wasn't many that relevant affiliate offers. I did find one or two. We sold a couple, but nothing crazy. So that's kind of like the funnel flow, built the funnel in ClickFunnels, et cetera, et cetera. And we started marketing. So we started off basically at the start of Jan. On the 1st of Jan, we spent about £100. And then at the very peak, we got up to about £420 in the middle of February, which is about $500 a day for you American folk. Now, when I launched the ads, we did start getting sales pretty much on day one. You can see that we got free front-end sales. Now, it wasn't necessarily profitable. You can see that we had a 0.92 ROAS on day one. But I think this is something quite important. When you are launching a product like this, I know people say that sometimes you need like a testing period where, hey, you need to test for 5 days, 14 days, 30 days. Like, you can't start a new business and test for like 2 days and then shut off. But what I've found when you're basically, what we're trying to do here is try and find a market and a product that is unsaturated, that sells well. And this is a little bit like drop shipping back in like 2016, 2017, where you'd try and find like a trending product that no one else is selling and you'd run ads to it and test. It reminds me a little bit of this, where we're obviously not creating a course or a coaching program that's based around our brand. We're just trying to find basically a product that the market wants. We're going to try and create it and sell it. So with that, I feel like you need to not have any emotional attachment to the product or the offer. And you need to market it, sell it. And if in the first couple of days there's like zero to little traction, I would honestly encourage you just to quit and go and find a different product. I've done this a few times. And for example, this one, okay, we didn't make any money in the first day, but people were buying it. You know, we got like a £32 CPA, which isn't amazing for a $27 product, right? But it's showing you that people are interested in buying the product, right? It wasn't like we lost a load of money. It's not like our CPA was like $100 or we didn't make any sales of $100. I've tried this before, and we might launch build a funnel, launch a low ticket product, and after the first couple of days there's like no sales, or there's one sale and the CPA is at like $95. I mean, at that point, I'm like, unless there's something like obvious that you know you need to change, at that point I'm just like, give up, try and find a different niche or a different product. Again, obviously if it's like your own brand, and you have more validation of that you can sell, then obviously you might want to test obviously for longer than like 2 days. I'm not saying just try a business for 2 days and give up. But this, where we're trying to create like faceless products, and it's all about the niche in the market and trying to find an opportunity, if you're not getting any traction in the first couple of days, then you either need to rethink the product, or at least rethink the big idea behind the product. Because if you spend like $200-$300 and just no one's buying it, then yeah, sure, you could change the headline, you could change the ads, but I don't know if that's, I would honestly like start looking at either like different big ideas or a different product in general. But for this one, day one, we got, like I said, free sales. So that was enough validation for me to be like, all right, there's something here. Obviously, I'm not making millions of dollars, but there's something here. Like, people want this. And again, that comes down to the market research of finding a niche that was uncompetitive and unsaturated, and there's no one else really running ads for it. So you can see in the first month, in January, I spent £4,800, and I generated in front-end sales £5.9 thousand. So I'm not at the 10K per month mark yet, but in the first month, that's pretty good. Obviously, this means we only made a profit of £1,000, right? So again, nothing too crazy, right? We're not millionaires yet. But again, it shows that in the first 30 days, you're already making profit just on the front end off the low ticket product. There's some potential there. You can see that our CPA got down to £26, and our average order value on the front end was £32. So that was all right. But then I ran into some challenges. So the start of the next month, it started pretty well. You can see like within the first week, we made £250 profit. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, we're doing pretty well here. And then as soon as I started to basically increase the budget, so you can see I started spending about like £300 to £400 a day here. Just whenever I got to that point, midway through February, the results tanked basically, and I started losing some money. You know, basically from this point onwards, I had like a £230 profit day, which was cool. But then after that, it all went to shit, and I lost like £500 in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And it kind of like continued like that for the rest of the month. And we basically finished in February. We got down to like a 1.03 ROAS. Now, I did get the product to 10K per month. So you can see here, if we come down to, sorry, not this one. If we come to the cash, front end cash, by the 25th of February, we did £7,696 in sales, which is about 10K per month. So we were able to get this product to 10K per month. But obviously, I would say it's the elephant in the room, but it's obvious. We're not making any money, right? So I was able to get 10K in revenue, but I pretty much spent 10K to get there. So that's obviously not that impressive. So the big lesson when I was doing this is that, yes, you can find like these untapped markets and these unsaturated markets, but unless you have a back end or an average, like a back end offer, then you're really going to struggle to be profitable. And especially if we're selling like low ticket stuff on the front end, that isn't where you're going to make your money. You need a back end. So for example, if we look at the first couple of months here, we got $180 sales, and then in Feb we got 262. And you can see I started a little bit in March, but then I just cut everything off. So you can see here, this is what, about 450 customers. Let's just say, for example, we had 450 customers in the first couple of months, and let's just say worst case scenario, 1% of people purchased like a back end offer. So that's like 4.5 people. If we sold like a 2K product, which isn't like super high ticket, but it's high ticket enough, that's basically 9,000, right? So for us, if we had that back end in place, we would maybe spend, what's this? That's like £14,000. and we would have broke even on the front end, and then we'd make about 9K. That would be dollars potentially, but we'd make like £7,000, 9K dollars in the back end. So for the first couple of months, if we make like 7 to 9K profit, again, we're not millionaires, we're not rich, but for most people who are looking to start a business for the first time, if you can make on average like 4 to 5K a month from your digital product business, that's for a lot of you enough to quit your full-time job. So there's a couple of big lessons here if you are looking to get into like the low ticket digital product space. Number one is that you need to make sure, like I said at the beginning, that you're tapping into an unsaturated or uncompetitive market, right? You don't need to be the only person in that market, but you need to have some form of advantage, right? And if your advantage is if you are a faceless brand, your advantage is going to be that you're selling something unique or your product is unique. But if you're going into like a super saturated or a super competitive market, then your product isn't going to be unique. And plus those people will probably have personal brands so they can differentiate themselves. So step number one, you need to make sure that you do the research correctly and find these pockets of unsaturated markets. Number two, you need to learn how to advertise, because I see people teaching like a faceless digital product model, and they'll typically say stuff like, hey, you don't even need to run ads in the beginning, you can create like viral short form content. But the reality is that no one can guarantee that any of your short form content will go viral. So a lot of these programs and courses, they'll be like, start an Instagram account, start a TikTok account, start a YouTube Shorts account, and start posting like 3 to 5 videos a day, and basically just keep posting until your stuff goes viral. And what happens is most people spend like 90 days posting, and they get nowhere, they don't get any traffic, and they've just wasted 90 days of their life. Whereas with ads, you can test real quickly, right? Because imagine if you post for 90 days and then no one buys your product. You're just like, I just wasted so much time. Where with ads, you can validate the idea within like the first 7 days, right? You can spend a little bit of money, you can validate it to show that people want it, and then from there you can kind of decide, okay, is it worth it? Do I spend more? Do I need to change the funnel? Do I need to change the price? And you can make your optimizations from there. Or if you run ads, you don't get any sales in the first few days, you can just be like, okay, I'm going to leave it, and you're on to the next one. So you can like test and validate an offer in like 5 days, versus if you're doing like organic content and you just want to do it for free, then it might take you like 2 to 3, 4, 5 months to validate an offer, because you need to make sure that you're getting the traffic. And if you're starting a brand new Instagram account from scratch, then reality is you're not getting any traffic for the first couple of months, because, no one's in control of the algorithm, and you can't control how many people view or click your links in your Instagram bio. So that's number 2. You need to learn ads quickly. Number 3 is when you're running this type of funnel, lifetime value of your customer is everything, right? So I challenged myself to build a 10K per month business from scratch without showing my face. And technically, I did it. But reality is, don't know about you guys, I'm not really happy with making 1K a month or £200 a month, right? So the reality is, if I needed to get this funnel profitable and actually make me any form of income, then I would have to have a back-end offer that would increase that lifetime value. Now, the issue with this product is that there was no real, because there was no real product that I could upsell them in the back end that made sense, that I could charge like 2 to 5K for. Now, in like the online world, there are a million different affiliate programs that you can potentially get a percentage of that is high ticket, right? There's lots of affiliate programs out there that sell 1K, 2K, 5K, 10K products. And you can, all your customers that come in, you can send them to those affiliate programs, and you could maybe make a 1K or a 2K commission. So when you are choosing the low ticket front end product, yes, you need to make sure that it's like in an unsaturated niche, or there's like high demand for the product, or it's like an in trend product. But you also need to start with the end in mind and understand, okay, cool, even if it is a product that sells well and people want it, if there's no back end that I can really upsell them onto, then there's no point wasting your time. Honestly, if you look at this, a little bit wasting my time, right? Because I'm not making any money from it, and realistically, I kind of knew there's no really like 2K, 5K upsell. There was no like affiliate program that I could find anyway that would be like super suitable for the customers that bought this. So I was kind of always like setting myself up to fail with this. So that's something you need to think about as well. You need to make sure that, yes, it sells well on the front end, uncompetitive, but if realistically, if you've got nothing to upsell those people to in the back end, then there's kind of like no point whatsoever. So if you want more like info on this, where I do like behind the scenes of like the different funnels we're running or the different ad accounts or the results, some stuff we do really well. You know, we're in the middle of a launch right now for one of our clients, and so far in the first couple of days, I think we've done now about $250,000 cash collected. Total sales revenue with payment plans are about 350 to 400K, right? So we have stuff that's going really well. I document that. I create videos on that. But I also do stuff that doesn't work very well, which is stuff like this, which is kind of like to go through the process of building something and to show the lessons so you can kind of avoid the stuff that I failed at. But I document all of this on the YouTube, but I also document it as well more frequently on to my email list. So if you want to get more in-depth behind-the-scenes content, where I show you behind the scenes of like the numbers, the funnels we're building, all that sort of stuff, then you can go ahead, just join the email list. I send 2 to 3 emails a week where it's kind of all this stuff. It's not like some fluffy, like high-level stuff. It's literally like documenting stuff as I'm going along. So now for the niche reveal, a little bit random, but I built a product for beekeepers. So that is the niche, right? So if you look at the ads library, and if you type in beekeeping, what I found that beekeeping was trending quite a lot over the last few years, especially like backyard and like urban beekeeping. So it was rising in popularity. Number 2 is I looked at like the ads, and I looked at like the communities on Facebook, and I'm not exposed to this whatsoever. Don't even think I've ever met a beekeeper in my life. But beekeepers apparently are really passionate about bees. Like they are super, like they're really like passionate, and like the people who actually do it are in love with it. So it's like a really small but really passionate community. So there's big desire there to buy products. Like as you can see, there's some people like selling like t-shirts and stuff. So you can see that there's obviously like really passionate beekeepers are going to be, you know, buying this stuff. So I knew there was like demand for bee-related products. And then finally, I couldn't really find anyone promoting education. There's some people like this that do like in-person events and in-person workshops, but there wasn't anyone that I could see. There was one couple that I think were doing like one-off like virtual workshops, but other than that, there was no one running ads to like a beekeeping course or anything like that. Most of it was either people selling like beekeeping accessories, selling hives, people, you know, selling bee suits, but no one was actually selling like the education part. So everything was good in terms of the niche was uncompetitive, there was demand, I could create like the AI products pretty easily and still deliver like a good service. We actually got a lot of compliments on the products that we created. The only thing that this lacked, and this is obviously the key thing, is the lifetime value. There was no faceless, automated 2K plus product that I could sell. And also there wasn't any like higher ticket affiliate programs that also made sense for this customer. So like I said, if you want more in-depth behind the scenes of stuff like this, then you can click the link in the description, join the email list to send more regular updates and behind the scenes and everything that we're doing for our clients and our own funnels as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.